Eden Zero Chapter 216 has just been released, and with this, it seems we have finally gotten the end of the Aoi Cosmos arc. This arc has been lasted almost a whole year, and I am honestly both glad it ended and don't want it to end just yet. But I think this chapter was honestly a really nice way to bookend this arc, and it kind of gave us a bit of a tearful goodbye to two characters, one of which that I really did enjoy, but I'll get into that when I get through the chapter. Before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help. I really do enjoy doing Eden Zero content on the channel, so let me know if you want to keep it up. I also might try doing live stream reactions to the chapters when they release on Tuesday mornings at some point within the next few weeks, so look forward to that. Let's hit that intro and get right into the review. So chapter 216 of Eden Zero, titled Within the Fading Years. We start off directly from last week, where the Edens 1 rises from the ground, ready to attack the Eden Zero, as it was revealed that the AI of the Edens 1 is actually the true enemy and the reason why Ziggy was being controlled in the first place. So we see some nice menacing panels of the Edens 1 staring down the Eden Zero, as Shiki is reacting the same way we did, that the Edens 1 is the one that's been controlling Ziggy. Hermit goes on to explain that the AI opposed Ziggy's goals and kept growing. Ultimately, it developed a mind and purpose of its own. And Shiki's wondering what purpose that was, but Hermit just says that it was the one that Ziggy talked about when he was under its control. To destroy Mother and eliminate the human race from all of the cosmoses. We're back on the bridge as Connor is trying to do his best to evade, because right now that's all the Eden Zero can do. The Eden Zero can attack, it's too heavily damaged from the battle against Dead End Crow. The Edens 1 then charges up and launches an attack towards the Eden Zero, even breaking through its protection matrix, damaging it even further. It was a direct hit. Shiki gives the order to retreat, same with Hermit, but all Connor is able to do is just evade the attacks as best he can, and they can't seem to fight back right now. Connor then swears that he'll shake off the Edens 1 as they begin to fly away. We cut to the castle of Lendard, where while all this chaos is going around, they're having a heart-to-heart, which again, they not really know what's going on. Justice goes on to ask Elsie if she actually knew that Aknoella was her mother. Elsie confirms this and states that she had heard after the war that her mother gave up her humanity and became a machine. But she had no idea that she was still on Lendard using the Mobius to create more of her dragons. James tries to get some more out of Elsie, saying that she was her home mother and she basically killed her. But Elsie just says that she doesn't think of her as her mother anymore. She never did, but she only ever cared about her wealth and power. Of course, she did pretend to be a caring mother in front of her own daughter. Justice goes on to ask that the war was really started because of the Mobius, which Elsie confirms once more. She says that even their political marriage between the two of them was just a ploy to secure a supply route for more weapons. Elsie learned that the royal family had been planning to use the Mobius to take over the entire Kaede cosmos, so they were planning on literally taking over an entire cosmos with automatic machine creation device. She was very young, and she says that she didn't know how to stop her parents, so she went to another kingdom that she trusted for advice, and as a result, a war occurred. Many people who lived on Lendar died, including people from her school, her own family, as she begins to show visible, she is hurting from all the traumatic experiences she's had, as she says that it wasn't supposed to be like this and apologizes to James. I'm calling him James because he basically throws away the name of Justice now, so I'm just going to go by his actual name. James says, "I don't know if what you did was right, but I can't say it was wrong either." She was a kid at that time and she had no idea what to do, and she did what she thought was right in the moment. Even we can't tell if it was 100% right exactly what she did or if it was wrong. It goes to a more morally right thing to do, to try and stop her parents from basically taking over the entire cosmos. But on the other hand, what Elsie did prematurely and rushed to do, it ended up causing a war that basically destroyed her own planet, killing her friends. Just goes on to say, "And look at me. I had so much pent-up anger and hate, and I took it all out on you." But he says, "No, I took it out on a little girl who didn't have a better choice." Which Justice is finally admitting that he has had tunnel vision for a long time, or had a better choice over what she had to do in the situation. Elsie goes on to say, "I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want any more people to die." And Justice says, "To think, that's how you felt all this time, and I never managed to see it. I don't even know why I'm fighting anymore. as Elsie basically just cracks a joke saying, "For justice, no?" As James says, "No, that man Justice doesn't exist anymore." As while they're talking, we cut over to the Eden Zero evading multiple incoming attacks from the Eden's One out in open space. Connor is doing his very best to get away from the Eden's One and evade all of the missiles and projectiles. James and Elsie's conversation continues as James is reflecting on everything that he's known. And finally, something that we were wanting to be addressed has been addressed once more, not in the way that I wanted it to, but at the same time, I'm glad it's being addressed, and James is giving a logical response to this information. Basically saying, thinking back on it, it doesn't make sense that Homura killed Creed. My narrow-mindedness skewed my sense of justice. Thank you. So I guess all I really needed was to see Elsie doing good, breaking down and showing her weaker side of not wanting to fight anymore, to like come to his senses, and now he's actually thinking things more rationally, just like Victory was telling him in previous chapters. He's basically letting go of his vendetta against Homura now. But back to the conversation. Elsie asks, "Are you still gonna arrest me?" But Justice just says, "No, I'm done with all that." Elsie then tells Justice that a chronophage is coming and he should probably go and leave. James asks Elsie if she's not leaving, as Elsie says she's not. This is her home, and she wants to stay here. James pulls in Elsie for a hug, as he says, "I just thought maybe we're thinking the same thing. We lost so much time. Now the chronophage will cleanse it for us." As again, we cut to the outside in outer space, with the Eden Zero continuously trying to evade the Eden's One, pursuing them. Connor has begun to charge up a fast travel so they can finally evade the Eden's One without sustaining any more damage. And I like that the crew is asking, "What's going on? I thought you beat Ziggy. Who the hell is piloting that ship?" As Shiki tells everybody, nobody's on the ship. The ship is moving of its own will. Laguna finally gives the command since everything has been charged. They jumped to fast travel. As they begin to jump, Rebecca looks out the window, calling to Shiki, showing that the chronophage has arrived to Lendard, saying that it's eating its time. As we see the chronophage devour the planet, and we see it right past Lendard, devouring all of its time, as we slowly but surely see the time from Lendard being reversed, as well as everything, the damage and everything around it beginning to disappear and rewind to a specific point. As we see Elsie and James hugging in this maelstrom of time being reversed, as they hold each other close, saying, "Do you remember this place?" "Yes, it's where you teased me." As we see Elsie aging backwards, back into her little kid self, and Justice is back as his kid self, as he thinks, "My first love." As Lendard ages back a multitude number of years, with Elsie and Justice gone. An end to these two characters. I did not think that this was going to be the end of them, but to an extent it makes sense that their story would end on their home planet. Rebecca and Shiki see this, and they kind of know that Elsie and Justice didn't leave Lendard, as they're starting to mourn the loss of one of their friends. As we then cut to our narrator, Xiaomei, as she says, "The chronophage feasted on Lendard's time, ruthlessly devouring 260 years. So now this planet aged back nearly 3 centuries, and well before Elsie and Justice were even born. So now this whole planet managed to get one big fresh start. Hopefully things could change in the future, but we'll just have to wait and see." Xiaomei goes on to say, "But somewhere in the backward rolling moments, there may have been a short love story between a little boy and a little girl. And now our story moves on towards its final battle." Ending the chapter, and from what I can tell, officially ending the Kaede War arc. So, what did I think of this chapter? What did I think of this arc in general, real quick? I enjoyed it. There were some low points, primarily towards like the Arashio and Sace being dealt with, but the twists in this chapter, as well as a lot of the action primarily with Shiki and Ziggy, really held it all together, and I honestly enjoyed it a lot. It could have been the best arc in Eden Zero, and I think I have to reread the whole thing from beginning to end once more to get a full picture of it, because sometimes a weekly read through of a series is different than a full-on binge to get the full picture. So I'll probably binge read all of this arc, and then give my final thoughts on a relatively larger arc-based video review. But this chapter, I think it was a nice bookend to the arc. The Eden Zero are running away from the Eden's One after its true identity as the enemy that we are all seeking has been gone. And to think about it, it's been years since the midpoint of the series, since the end of the first saga of the series, so it does make sense. Elsie's story is over. I kind of hoped for her to join up with the Eden Zero crew for the final battle of the story, but having a relatively powerful character like Elsie on the crew along with everyone else would make things a lot easier for them. So writing her out of the story in this was honestly not that bad as a way for Elsie to go out. She didn't really die a gruesome death. She just kind of ceased to exist as the time of her and James kind of backrolled to the moment they met until they ceased to exist as their planet just got a 260-year reset. There are still some mysteries in this story that we're gonna have to see. I don't know if this means we're heading to the final arc from what Shame has said. We might get an arc or two before the overall final battle, but I'm curious to see where we're gonna go from here. Eden Zero has been one of my favorite series to read so far, and I feel like we got at least another 3 years of this story left. I'm giving it 5 max, but I'm giving it 3 years because Mashima doesn't like overly long arcs or drawn out fight sequences, so that's something we'll just have to wait and see. But what did you guys think of this chapter of Eden Zero? Did you like the conclusion for Elsie's story and this arc? How do you feel that we're finally heading towards the final battle of the series, and what did you think of the arc as a whole? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below to let me know what you think. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really helps and shows that you guys enjoy the Eden Zero content on this channel. Now that this arc is over, I might do another 2 to 3 chapter reviews to cap off the month, and then I will most likely stop the chapter reviews for Eden Zero and start doing live streams and do other videos instead of Eden Zero weekly due to low engagement with these videos, unfortunately. But I will be doing larger videos for Eden Zero every month, so look forward to that. Eden Zero ain't going away anytime soon, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you all have an awesome day.